What if music was more than just sound? What if it became a force so powerful it could mend broken spirits, ignite movements, and awaken the deepest parts of our humanity? Alanis Morissette doesn't just ask these questions. She answers them through every note she sings and every word she writes. A trailblazer who redefined vulnerability in music, she's more than an artist. She's a storyteller of raw emotion and resilience. Her songs are lifelines for the weary, anthems for the brave, and whispers of hope for the lost. But her journey isn't just about the music. It's about courageously exploring the messy, beautiful depths of the human experience and inviting us to do the same. Through her fearless authenticity, she dares us to confront our own truths and discover a deeper connection to ourselves and the world. Ready to dive into a story that might just change the way you see life. Early spiritual foundations. Imagine growing up in a world filled with traditional religious practices, yet feeling a restless yearning for something deeper. Raised in a Catholic household, Morissette experienced this tension early on. While the rituals of her upbringing offered structure, familiarity, and even moments of comfort, they failed to satisfy the profound questions about existence that bubbled up within her from an early age. Questions like, why are we here? What is our purpose? Lingered in her mind, unanswered by the doctrines she was taught. Even as a child, she seemed to intuitively sense that there was more to life and spirituality than what traditional frameworks could explain. This growing awareness did not come from a place of defiance, but from an innate desire to explore and understand. Her eventual shift to identifying as a post-Catholic was not a rejection of her Catholic roots, but rather an evolution of her spiritual perspective. It was an act of seeking calmness and open-hearted pursuit of truth that lay beyond the boundaries of established dogma. For Morissette, this journey was not about casting aside her past, but about expanding her understanding and embracing a more inclusive and resonant spiritual framework. Her exploration of Buddhism and other spiritual traditions marked the beginning of a profound transformation. She was drawn to the simplicity and universality of these teachings, which emphasized mindfulness, compassion, and interconnectedness. Unlike the rigid structures she had known, these philosophies offered her practical tools for self-discovery and inner peace. Meditation, for example, became a cornerstone of her daily practice, providing a space to quiet her mind and connect with her authentic self. Through mindfulness, she learned to live more fully in the present moment, cultivating a sense of clarity and calm that had previously eluded her. As she delved deeper into these practices, Morissette began to see the profound impact they had on her life, both personally and professionally. The principles of acceptance and interconnectedness resonated deeply, inspiring her to approach her relationships and her work with greater empathy and authenticity. Her spiritual journey was not merely about self-improvement, it was about healing and transcending the limitations imposed by societal and religious structures. She found herself unlearning old patterns and embracing new ways of thinking that aligned with her evolving beliefs. This spiritual awakening also had a transformative effect on her creative process. Music, which had always been a vital outlet for her emotions and ideas, became an even more powerful medium for expressing the insights she gained from her spiritual journey. Her lyrics began to reflect themes of self-awareness, resilience, and connection, resonating with audiences who shared her longing for deeper meaning. Through her art, Morissette not only documented her personal growth, but also offered a sense of solidarity and inspiration to others on similar paths. The journey, however, was not without its challenges. Stepping away from the familiar confines of traditional religion required tremendous courage and openness. It meant navigating uncertainty and confronting deeply ingrained beliefs, often without the support of a clearly defined path. Yet, Morissette embraced this uncertainty, seeing it as an essential part of her evolution. She understood that the search for meaning is rarely linear. and that the questions we ask are as important as the answers we seek. Her exploration of spirituality extended beyond Buddhism to include a diverse array of teachings and practices, from yoga to Eastern philosophies, to contemporary approaches to self-awareness and healing. Each of these influences added another layer to her understanding, helping her piece together a spiritual mosaic that was uniquely her own. For Morissette, spirituality was not about adhering to a specific set of rules, but about cultivating a sense of alignment with her inner truth and the world around her. This integrative approach to spirituality also informed her view of community and connection. She began to see herself as part of a larger whole, where every individual is intrinsically linked. This perspective not only deepened her empathy for others, but also fueled her commitment to living authentically and compassionately. Whether through her music, her relationships, or her advocacy, Morissette strived to embody the values she had come to cherish. Her story resonates with anyone who has ever felt the pull towards something greater, a yearning to break free from the confines of tradition and discover a deeper sense of purpose. It serves as a reminder that the journey towards spiritual fulfillment is deeply personal and often requires us to venture into uncharted territory. For Morissette, the path was not always easy, but it was profoundly rewarding. Her willingness to question, explore, and grow has left an indelible mark, both on her own life and on the lives of those who have been inspired by her journey. Quote, the role of Catholicism in shaping Morissette's spiritual lens. Catholicism wasn't entirely left behind as Morissette embraced a broader spiritual identity. The foundational values she grew up with, such as charity, compassion, and a focus on community, carried forward into her adult beliefs. However, the hierarchical and dogmatic elements of organized religion often left her feeling constrained. Her decision to explore beyond Catholicism was not a rejection but an expansion, incorporating Buddhist mindfulness and other philosophical principles into her understanding of spirituality. She often reflects on how her upbringing gave her a moral compass, while her journey into Eastern spirituality provided the tools to navigate the nuances of modern life. This interplay of influences has led Morissette to create a deeply personal and fluid spiritual framework. She frequently acknowledges how Catholic rituals, such as prayer and contemplation, laid the groundwork for her openness to meditative practices in Buddhism. The sense of sacredness imbued in her Catholic upbringing allowed her to approach spiritual exploration with reverence rather than skepticism. As she delved into Eastern philosophies, she found common threads of interconnectedness and a shared emphasis on inner peace, which resonated deeply with her. Morissette's evolving spirituality also reflects her ability to reconcile apparent contradictions. For instance, while she appreciates the structure and traditions of Catholicism, she values the freedom and introspection that Buddhism offers. This duality allows her to draw inspiration from both worlds without feeling the need to fully commit to one or the other. Her reflections often highlight the importance of adaptability in spirituality, emphasizing that the essence of belief lies not in rigid adherence, but in genuine connection and growth. Moreover, her journey illustrates the transformative potential of questioning and exploration. By stepping beyond the confines of a single tradition, Morissette has cultivated a spirituality that is both inclusive and dynamic. Her ability to integrate the moral foundation of Catholicism with the mindfulness and philosophical depth of Eastern practices serves as a testament to the enriching possibilities of cross-cultural spiritual engagement. Ultimately, her spiritual lens is one of harmony, drawing from diverse traditions to craft a path that is uniquely her own. Meeting the Dalai Lama, a moment of transformation. Can one encounter truly change the course of your life? For Alanis Morissette, meeting the 14th Dalai Lama in 2004 was precisely that. A profound moment of alignment between her personal journey and her public mission. The Dalai Lama, a global symbol of compassion, resilience, and spiritual wisdom, seemed to embody the very principles she sought to cultivate in her life: mindfulness, interconnectedness, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Their meeting in Ottawa wasn't just a handshake or a brief exchange. It was an intersection of two worlds, the artistic and the spiritual, and one that left an indelible mark on Morissette's life and career. For Morissette, the encounter came at a pivotal time. As a celebrated artist, she was already immersed in a journey of self-discovery, grappling with the complexities of fame and the search for deeper meaning in her work and personal life. The Dalai Lama's teachings on compassion and non-attachment provided her with a lens to navigate these challenges. His presence, described by many as both serene and profoundly grounding, seemed to offer her clarity in a way she had not yet experienced. The meeting itself was intimate yet profound. Unlike the formalities often associated with such high-profile encounters, Morissette's interaction with the Dalai Lama carried a sense of authenticity and connection. She described it as a moment of deep resonance, where his words and demeanor seemed to mirror her inner aspirations. The Dalai Lama's emphasis on compassion, not as a passive feeling but as an active force for change, struck a chord with her. His teachings on interconnectedness, the idea that all beings are fundamentally linked, challenged her to think about her role in the broader fabric of humanity. This meeting became a catalyst for transformation. Morissette began to view her music as more than just a medium for personal expression. It became a tool for advocacy and healing. Her lyrics, already known for their raw vulnerability, began to explore themes of universal love, empathy, and social consciousness with greater depth. Albums that followed reflected this evolution and the collective struggles of modern society. She used her platform not just to entertain but to enlighten, weaving messages of hope, understanding, and resilience into her art. Beyond her music, the encounter inspired Morissette to take a more active role in advocacy. The Dalai Lama's relentless commitment to justice resonated deeply with her, encouraging her to support causes ranging from mental health awareness to environmental sustainability. She became a vocal advocate for mindfulness and emotional well-being, often speaking about the importance of compassion both for oneself and for others. Her outreach extended to global justice movements, where she used her influence to highlight issues of inequality and human rights. The Dalai Lama's teachings also influenced Morissette on a personal level. She embraced practices of mindfulness and meditation more fully, integrating them into her daily life. These practices not only enriched her creativity but also provided her with tools to cope with the pressures of her career. She has often spoken about how mindfulness helped her stay grounded, fostering a sense of inner peace amidst the chaos of the entertainment industry. What makes this story particularly compelling is its ripple effect. The transformative power of Morissette's encounter with the Dalai Lama didn't just reshape her life, it extended outward, touching the lives of her fans and listeners. Her music, infused with the principles of compassion and interconnectedness, became a source of solace and inspiration for many. By sharing her journey, she encouraged others to reflect on their own lives, to seek meaning, and to cultivate kindness in their interactions with the world. This single meeting serves as a testament to the potential of brief yet profound connections. It challenges us to consider the moments in our own lives that have left lasting impressions, the encounters that have shifted our perspectives or ignited a spark of change within us. For Morissette, meeting the Dalai Lama wasn't just an event. It was a turning point, a moment of profound alignment that continues to influence her art, her advocacy, and the way she moves through the world. Doesn't it make you wonder how a single moment, one fleeting connection, can ripple outward to reshape not just a single life, but also the lives of countless others? Morissette's story is a powerful reminder that transformation often begins with a spark, a moment of clarity, a meeting of minds, or a shared sense of purpose. And in those moments, the seeds of change are sown, ready to grow and inspire in ways we may never fully understand. How this meeting shaped her worldview. The Dalai Lama's teachings on compassion resonated deeply with Morissette, particularly his philosophy that kindness and empathy can transcend cultural and religious boundaries. These lessons became more than abstract ideas for her. They were a profound call to action. She took these teachings to heart, recognizing their potential to transform not only her personal life, but also her influence as an artist and public figure. In interviews, she has often shared how the Dalai Lama's presence made her feel grounded and purposeful, reinforcing her commitment to using her platform for global causes and personal growth. The encounter served as a turning point for Morissette, giving her a new lens through which to view the interconnectedness of humanity. The Dalai Lama's emphasis on compassion as a universal value struck a chord with her. His belief that empathy could dissolve the barriers created by cultural and religious differences inspired her to consider how she might foster understanding and unity through her work. She began to see her music and her voice as tools for change, capable of spreading messages of love and acceptance across diverse audiences. This realization shaped not only her creative endeavors, but also her public persona, as she increasingly sought to embody the values she championed. The impact of the meeting extended beyond her professional life, influencing her personally and spiritually. For Morissette, the Dalai Lama's calm demeanor and steadfast commitment to his principles provided a model of how to live authentically and purposefully, even in the face of challenges. This was particularly significant for her as someone who had struggled to reconcile the spiritual values she held dear with the often conflicting demands of fame and the entertainment industry. Witnessing his ability to maintain inner peace amidst global scrutiny was both inspiring and validating for her. It reinforced her belief that it was possible to stay true to one's ideals while navigating the complexities of a high-profile career. This encounter wasn't just about absorbing the Dalai Lama's teachings. It was also a moment of profound self-reflection. It encouraged Morissette to examine her own life and question how she could better align her actions with her values. This introspection led to a deeper commitment to advocacy and activism. She began to actively seek opportunities to contribute to causes that aligned with the principles of compassion and empathy she had embraced. Whether through participating in humanitarian efforts, supporting mental health initiatives, or speaking out on social justice issues, Morissette made a conscious effort to use her influence for good. The encounter also had a profound impact on her artistry. Inspired by the Dalai Lama's teachings, Morissette began to infuse her music with themes of compassion, unity, and self-awareness. She saw her songs as a medium for sharing her insights and inspiring others to reflect on their own lives. This shift in focus added a new depth to her work, allowing her to connect with her audience on a more profound level. Her music became not just a form of entertainment, but a vehicle for spreading messages of hope and understanding. The meeting with the Dalai Lama also provided a sense of validation for Morissette at a time when she was grappling with questions about her identity and purpose. It reassured her that it was possible to live a life of integrity and authenticity, even in the spotlight. This realization emboldened her to be more vocal about her beliefs and more deliberate in her choices, both personally and professionally. She began to prioritize projects and initiatives that resonated with her values, even if they were not the most commercially advantageous. Over time, the lessons from this encounter continued to resonate and evolve within her. The Dalai Lama's philosophy became a cornerstone of her worldview, influencing not only her actions, but also her perspective on life. She often reflected on his teachings as a source of guidance and inspiration, particularly during challenging times. His emphasis on the power of compassion as a force for change encouraged her to remain hopeful and committed to her ideals, even when faced with adversity. Ultimately, the meeting with the Dalai Lama was a defining moment in Morissette's life, one that shaped her in ways that were both immediate and enduring. It reinforced her belief in the transformative power of kindness and empathy, and inspired her to embody these values in all aspects of her life. This profound experience not only deepened her understanding of herself and her purpose, but also empowered her to make a lasting impact on the world around her. Advocacy through music, the art of peace. What if music could be a bridge between worlds? In 2008, Alanis Morissette joined a cohort of renowned artists in Songs for Tibet, The Art of Peace, a compilation created to promote peace and support the Dalai Lama's mission. This initiative was more than just a collection of songs. It was a heartfelt movement to use the universal language of music to address profound social and political issues. Morissette's contribution, a live recording of versions of violence, stood out as a powerful and poignant reflection on societal discord and aggression, a cry for awareness and transformation. Versions of Violence was no ordinary track. It encapsulated the raw, unfiltered realities of conflict and dysfunction. Its lyrics painted a vivid picture of the various forms aggression can take, from overt physical altercations to more insidious emotional and psychological harm. Through her emotive delivery and lyrical depth, Morissette invited listeners to confront uncomfortable truths about the human condition, challenging them to recognize and address these pervasive issues in their own lives. How the pain of walking through one's life can be instilled with meaning and advance our soul's personal growth. The timing of the album's release was no coincidence. Dropped during the 2008 Beijing Olympics, the project aimed to shine a spotlight on Tibet's struggle under Chinese rule. The Olympics, a global event symbolizing unity and peace, served as a stark contrast to the reality faced by the Tibetan people. This juxtaposition amplified the album's impact, drawing international attention to the plight of Tibet and the broader themes of freedom, resilience, and compassion. For Morissette, this wasn't merely a musical endeavor, it was a testament to her belief that art must transcend entertainment to serve a higher purpose. Her involvement in Songs for Tibet was deeply personal. By lending her voice to this cause, she demonstrated how creativity can intersect with activism, transforming art into a catalyst for change. The album underscored the power of collective action, uniting artists from around the world to amplify a message of peace and solidarity. Morissette's participation embodied her unwavering commitment to using her platform for meaningful advocacy, showing that music can indeed be a bridge between divided worlds. The themes explored in Versions of Violence resonate far beyond the album's context. They prompt a broader reflection on how aggression, in its many forms, permeates society. Morissette's unflinching perspective encourages listeners to question their own roles in perpetrating or challenging such dynamics. Doesn't her steadfast dedication inspire us to consider how our unique talents and platforms might be leveraged to create meaningful change? Ultimately, Morissette's contribution to Songs for Tibet exemplifies the transformative power of music. It's a reminder that art, when infused with purpose, can become a force for good, transcending barriers and fostering understanding. Her work challenges us to view creativity not just as self-expression, but as a profound means of advocacy, a bridge between worlds yearning for peace and harmony. The cultural impact of Songs for Tibet. Songs for Tibet wasn't just about music, it was a statement. The album served as a beacon for awareness during a politically sensitive time, showing how artists could challenge power structures through their craft. Morissette's involvement highlighted her willingness to stand in solidarity with marginalized communities, even when it meant courting controversy. The album's global reach underscored the unifying power of art, proving that music can be both a personal and a political act. Beyond this project, her music has often been a platform for advocacy. Songs like Not As We and Receive explore themes of healing, introspection, and the journey towards self-acceptance. By infusing her music with messages of emotional honesty and resilience, Morissette creates space for listeners to reflect on their own lives and grow. Isn't that the ultimate purpose of art? To touch hearts and inspire change? Morissette's activism extends beyond music. She has been involved in numerous charitable initiatives, including mental health awareness campaigns and environmental advocacy. Her commitment to these causes stems from a deep belief in the interconnectedness of all life. She sees activism not as an obligation, but as a natural extension of her spiritual and artistic values. Themes of spiritual resonance in her music. Alanis Morissette's music feels like a conversation with the soul, With themes of vulnerability, growth, and interconnectedness, her lyrics often mirror the teachings of Buddhism. Songs like Thank You express gratitude for life's lessons, even the painful ones. In this track, she reflects on the power of impermanence and the wisdom gained from suffering, offering a perspective that aligns deeply with Buddhist philosophy. Isn't it remarkable how she transforms suffering into a source of wisdom? In Everything and That I Would Be Good, she champions self-acceptance and unconditional love. Her words echo Buddhist principles of mindfulness and compassion, reminding us that our flaws and imperfections are what make us human. These songs don't just entertain, they invite listeners to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery. Isn't that the ultimate truth? That embracing our whole selves is the path to true peace? The art of vulnerability. One of Morissette's most profound gifts is her ability to channel vulnerability into her music. Tracks like Uninvited and You Learn delve into the complexities of emotional pain, growth, and resilience. She doesn't shy away from the messy parts of life. Instead, she embraces them, showing listeners that beauty can emerge from brokenness. Her music serves as a reminder that both connection and understanding. Bridging art and activism. What does it mean to live authentically? For Morissette, it means aligning her art with her beliefs and using her platform to amplify causes she holds dear. Her advocacy for Tibetan independence, mental health awareness, and environmental sustainability reflects a holistic approach to activism. Whether she's addressing issues of societal discord through her music or participating in global campaigns, her work is a testament to the power of intentional living. Isn't it inspiring to see someone use their voice not only to entertain, but to enlighten and empower? Morissette's activism also challenges the notion that art and politics should remain separate. She believes that art is inherently political because it has the power to influence perspectives and inspire action. By infusing her music with messages of hope and resilience, she encourages her audience to think critically about the world around them and their role within it. Legacy of compassion and advocacy. What will be our legacy? Alanis Morissette's life invites us to ponder this question. Her connection with the Dalai Lama and her dedication to human rights are not isolated acts. They are part of a broader mission to foster a more compassionate and just world. Through her music and advocacy, she encourages us to look inward and ask, how can we contribute to the greater good? Her journey reminds us that art and spirituality are not separate paths, but intertwined threads of the human experience. By embracing vulnerability, seeking truth, and advocating for others, Morissette has created a legacy that transcends music. She shows us that by living authentically, we can inspire others to do the same. A call to reflection. So what can we learn from Alanis Morissette? Perhaps it's that life's greatest purpose lies not in achieving perfection but in embracing growth. That our struggles, when met with compassion, can become the seeds of transformation. That art, at its best, is a mirror reflecting our shared humanity. As you listen to her music or reflect on her advocacy, consider this. How might you integrate mindfulness, compassion, and authenticity into your own life? Like Morissette, we all have the power to create ripples of change. One act of kindness, one moment of courage, one shared truth at a time.